What's up, guys? Welcome back to CagedIn MMA. It's your host, Eben Sochiwa, and today we talk about UFC 301. This is episode 16 of my podcast, I guess you could say. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the fights, UFC 301, and then at the end, we have a special fight we're going to talk about as well. You guys probably already know it's going to be this weekend, but if you haven't figured it out, get ready. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and start off with Dana White call out. Dana White, as you know, I've been a fan for so long, over a decade, and I've always watched pay per views, paid for the pay per views. I paid for these, but I've never gone to a UFC event. I need to go. Fly me out. I've spent a lot of money. I got the Bruce Buffer cologne. I actually have the UFC watch. I have these guys. Um, but I live in Georgia, man. We don't get events up here, so I need a plane ticket, then Airbnb or hotel, and then I gotta get the fight tickets and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, bro, like fly me out. So, anyways, next, as you guys know, we got trivia. So 3 questions, and if you answer it correctly, good job. You know your stuff. And if you don't answer it correctly, then you need a kick in the face by your homie you listening, to this podcast with. So we'll go ahead and start off with the first question. Whose arm did Paul Craig break? I'll give you guys a few seconds. You got it? Yes? No? Pause it if you need more time. But the answer is Jamal Hill. Yes, sir. They were fighting. Ended up, well, Paul Craig actually was setting up a few submissions in that fight. And then it ended up, he broke Jamal Hill's arm, but he kept kind of fighting. And then eventually the ref caught it and stuff like that. And yes, sir. So if you got it right, good job. That was a good fight. So next we got, how many Brazilian fighters are there on the card? I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer this question. The answer is 14. There are 14 Brazilian fighters on this card, which is good. Great. And last question. When did Jose Aldo make his UFC WEC debut? This was a long time ago, as you could tell. So they were, a sister company, etc. Blah blah blah. Got bought out, etc. etc. So, anyways, when did Jose Aldo make his UFC WEC debut? That might give it away too, but all right. We got June 1st of 2008. Yes, sir. So, um, yeah, Jose Aldo has been in the game for a long time. He won the championship belt in 2010, reigned it for a bit, and then we'll talk about his loss against this big boy over here. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go through these fights pretty quick. We're only gonna talk about the main card because I notice if I talk about the whole card, then I kind of end up talking for like over an hour. So, and not many people listen for over an hour. So let's go ahead. UFC 301 main card. First and foremost, we got Paul Craig versus Chao Borralho. So Paul Craig is 17-7-1. He's number 13 in middleweight. He has 4 knockouts, 13 submission wins, and 11 first round finishes. His notable wins are against Muniz, Krylov, and Hill. Um, Again, he's number 13. He Paul Craig is one of those fighters where it's like he's not championship level, but he's one of those who will most likely stay ranked, has some wins, has some losses, has its ups and downs. So 17-7, it isn't a terrible, record, but obviously there's better. But anyways, for Boralio, he's pretty new to the UFC, doesn't have much on his record, but again, he's an up and comer, and he's actually, I feel like he's gonna be one of those stars like Paulo Costa. So let's go ahead and talk about Chao Borralho. So he's 15-1. He's number 14 middleweight. So this one is kind of it's not bad, obviously, but from 14 to 13, it's very close. So if Borralho wins, he just goes up one, right? So then after that, I think he should fight a number 10. But anyways, he's on a 12 fight win streak. He has 4 knockouts, 4 submission wins. He's beat Magomedov, Muradov, and Petrosian. Like I said, he doesn't have much on his record, but those are his most notable wins. So next we got Ihor Peteria versus Michel Pereira. So Eeyore is 20-5. He's actually Ukrainian. His name is not, good for my tongue. But he has 9 knockout wins, 6 submission wins, 14 first round finishes. His notable wins are Brissek, which he just beat in February, so that gives him like 3 months. He won that by unanimous decision, but it was a quick turnaround. And he's beat Bellato. He also doesn't have much on his record. I mean, he's 20-5, but like in regards to the UFC in general, right? But next we got Michel Pereira. He's 30-11, and he's one of those where he's always been the showman and stuff like that. And honestly, I like his. I think it was his last fight or 2 fights ago where he kind of stepped away from that, right? And he actually just fought his fight. He had sometimes, he was trying to be the showman, but I believe that he's very good when he just focuses on the fighting aspect and not the entertainment side. So he's on a 7 fight win streak, 11 knockouts, 8 submission wins. He's beat Oleg in March. He just beat him March. So also a quick turnaround, right? March, April, May. That's like less than 2 months, right, for another camp. So then he's beat Petrovsky, Ponzibino, and he's even beat Nico Price. So he also doesn't have a bad record. 30-11 is not bad at all. You know, having 30 wins in this game, is very hard in itself. So, it's very great to see. Again, another. I hope really Michel Pereira steps aside from that. Kind of like entertainment side and just fights his fight, because I believe if he just fights his fight, he could get the win. So next we got Anthony Smith, tongue twister. Anthony Smith versus Vito Petrino. Smith is 37-19, 19 knockouts, 14 submission wins, and 20 first round finishes. As we know, this guy has been in the game for a long time. He also isn't one of those where I would consider, championship fighter level. Maybe before, especially, he did get a chance. He fought John Jones, etc. John Jones, obviously the GOAT. But he's beat Span twice, Crew, even Gustafson. Um, and again, this guy has been in the game for so long, having, like we just spoke about, having over 30 wins in general, even 20 wins is a lot in the game. But reaching that 30, he's 37-19. He also is one of those who has his highs and lows. And again, he's very good. I think he doesn't have much in the game anymore, but it's very always exciting to see him. So next we got Vitor Petrino. He's 11-0, 7 knockouts, 4 first round finishes. He's beat Pedro Bukowskis and Petrino. So these guys have hard names, but I always try to, prep to get it the best, but it doesn't always work. So my fault when I butcher the names. But he also doesn't have much on his record. Like I say, he's 11-0. He doesn't have much on his UFC record either. So those are pretty much his most notable wins. And if he beats Anthony Smith is obviously going to be a very notable win. And but this is obviously his toughest fight yet. So I'm very excited for this fight. I believe, honestly, I think I think a knockout. I could see a knockout between these guys. For to be 11-0 and have 7 knockout wins, four first round finishes, and then Anthony Smith as well. He has 37 wins with 19 knockouts and 14 submission wins. So, it's a crazy stat. This means like what he's finished 33 of his opponents out of 37 wins. So again, like I said, he has his ups and downs, but when he wins, you know, he wins in style. So for the co-main event of the evening, we got Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. Martinez is 19-4. He has six fight. He's on a 6 fight win streak. He has 9 knockout wins and 2 submission wins. He's beat Yanez Nurmagomedov, not Khabib, obviously. Swanson, Morales, and Perez. He does have a good stat. Honestly, this guy is championship material. His fight with Yanez, I believe, even those two guys, they're championship material. So I'm very excited for this fight. But we're about to go into Jose Aldo because this will also kind of cement Martinez if he does win, and you'll see why when I better explain. But Martinez, he's 19-4. Again, he's a very good fighter. He's very quick. This is kind of like the lower. I mean they don't weigh much, so they're very quick. Most of them are very quick on their feet and stuff like that. But he has great momentum, always staying on his toes and stuff like that. So very, very good. Aldo has more of that heavy stance, so but when he like comes at you, he comes with more power, whereas Martinez comes with more volume. So whereas again, these both of these guys, I'm not saying Aldo doesn't have volume himself. I'm just saying again, I mean this division is pretty light. So again, it's like they're all very quick in itself. So we got Jose Aldo. He is 31-8. He has 17 knockouts, 1 submission win, and 12 first round finishes. This guy's record is stacked. The notable wins he has, and even the losses he has. I mean, the caliber of fighter he's fought, it's insane. So we'll go ahead and talk about it. He's beat people like Rob Font, Munoz, Chito Vera, Moicano, Stevens, Jeremy Stevens, Frankie Edgar, Chad Mendez twice, Korean Zombie. It's like all these guys he's fought and beat are championship level fighters. And on top of that, it's crazy because the people he's lost to, this is where I was trying to get to. The people he's lost to are people that are legit championship level fighters, right? Even till this day. So you got people he's fought to like Marab. Marab, I believe, is number one. He's going to fight for the title. So you got that Piotr Jan. He was the champ, and he's going to fight for the title, or he lost the title to. Well, yeah, he lost the title and stuff like that. But obviously, Sean O'Malley right now is the champ, but which he Piotr Jan lost to. But like I said, he's lost to championship level fighters. He's lost to Volk. He's lost to Max Holloway. Max Holloway obviously is the BMF champ, but was a champ before. And then obviously, I mean, he's reigned his number one spot for the longest. And he lost to Conor McGregor, which Conor McGregor took that belt from him. But like I said, I mean, this guy obviously is a championship level fighter. And he's only lost to championship level, you know, caliber of fighters. So obviously, if Martinez beats him, it definitely sends a message, to the rest of the division. But like I said, Jose Aldo, I mean, he's had his ups and downs, especially after getting knocked out by McGregor. But in all, I think he's still one of the greatest and great fighters to this day. And I really think that legit. I don't know, man. Like Jose Aldo, many people obviously think he fell off and things like that. Whereas I just believe the guys are, obviously he's on the older side now. I think this is also his last fight on his contract, but and it might be his retirement fight again. But I just think that Jose Aldo is one of those where it's like he could have reigned, the division for the longest, but you got people like Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, Marab, that these guys are just the new generation, you know? So I'm very excited for this fight. I think this fight is going to have more. I think this fight could be fight of the night, honestly. I think both guys are very, you know, kind of both take hits very well and stuff like that. So I see them coming at each other for the whole fight. I don't think it goes 5 rounds, honestly. I think it goes more like 3 rounds, I would say. But I think it should be a 5 round fight, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But next, we got the main event of the evening for this bad boy right here. Yes, sir. So we got Steve Ursage versus Alexandra Pantoja. So Steve Ursage is 12-1. He's number 10 flyweight. So this one catches me a little off guard because he is number 10. He doesn't have much on his record. He is 12-1 with an 11 fight win streak, but we'll get into that in a little bit. He's on 11 fight win streak. He has 1 knockout and 6 submission wins. He's beat Schnell, Costa, and Vorak. Uh, he doesn't have much on his UFC record either, and even before the UFC, he was a champion in a different, MMA. What do you call it? Promotion. But to let me know what you guys think about this fight. Was it just put in together? I haven't heard any reporter or anything ask Dana White about this particular fight. What made him come to this, fight? What made him make this fight and stuff like that? Because I believe there was just, maybe other people he could have fought. I mean, he could have fought Amir Obazi, the number 3, which is 17-1 right now in the flyweight division. Kai Kara France. I mean, yes, Kai Kara France lost to people like Brandon Moreno and stuff, but still, like, he's still, I think, number 4 right now. So compared to the number 10, I'm like, okay. And even on top of that, you got Muhammad Mukayev, which is number 6, which I believe is undefeated right now. So it's like you had more options. But again, no, who knows if they were even offered that fight, right? If they were, maybe they turned it down. Maybe the only other one was number 10. They wanted this fight, um, to happen. I don't know. Who knows? But like I said, let me know if there has been something about it. Again, maybe they quickly, had to plan something out because they needed something in Brazil. They wanted a UFC event 301 and Pantoja right now. It's like who would Pantoja fight or accept the fight, etc. So I don't know. I think this one is Pantoja's, honestly, and we'll get into his record right now. Alexandra Pantoja is 27-5, 8 knockout wins, 10 submission wins, and 10 first round finishes. He's beat people like Royval twice, Moreno 3 times, Perez, Cape, Schnell, and you know, this guy obviously has a great record. I mean, they even want to make Moreno and him a 4 time because Moreno just comes up short. But again, people like Cape, he's also in the top 10. Uh, Perez is in the top 10, and so I get why also they didn't make those fights again. They just kind of needed a new contender. Pantoja has been fighting the same fighters over and over and over. So again, who knows? I feel like there should have been a better matchup though, but still a great fight, right? I mean, this is Rio de Janeiro where they're fighting, right, in Brazil. So yeah, who knows? I mean, he's only really lost to he has 5 losses, but like the I guess top fighters he's lost to is like Askar Askarov and Figueredo. So, Figueredo obviously has left the division, so no rematch there, etc. So uh again, I'm it's not like one of those where I'm like, I'm still excited for the fight, but I feel like you might see the very big difference of a championship fighter and a number 10 fighter. The number 10 fighter should have a couple more fights and, even a top 5 first and then go to a championship fight. But, first the top 10, then the top 5, and then your championship fight minimum, in my opinion. But that's where I go. Let me know y'all's opinion, and yeah. So, like I said, let me know who you guys think. I feel like Amir Albazi would have been a good fight for him. Number 3 contender, championship level fight. So yeah, I think Amir should have been caught out. But who knows? Is there a problem with something there? I haven't really heard anything. But yeah, let me know. So, last but not least, this is where that special fight is coming into play. So, if you guys are any boxing fans, we got my boy Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. So, we'll go ahead and start with Jaime Munguia. He is 27 years old from Tijuana, Mexico. He is 43 and 0, 34 knockouts. His most notable wins are people against Liam Smith, Gabriel Rosado, Sergey Derev, longer last name, but you get it, and John Ryder, which he actually fought John Ryder last in January of last year. So he hasn't really fought in over a year, but again, still, even Canelo had fought John Ryder himself. So, like I said, um, this guy, I mean, he reminds me a lot of Canelo, and I actually like him. I wouldn't mind him being champion. Obviously, Canelo is just a fan favorite. I'm rooting for Canelo, but the thing about Jaime Munguia, obviously, he still brings that. Dude, this guy, he has 34 knockouts and 43 wins. His record is very near perfect. I mean, he's 43 and 0, but this guy became a pro boxer at 16, and again, compared to Canelo became a pro fighter at 15, and but again, we'll get into that. So, Jaime Munguia, again, he's very quick, he's very powerful. Many people, they're especially the boxing fans, like many people are like, oh, Canelo is ducking Benavidez, etc., things like that. Benavidez has a fight coming up, by the way. But on top of that, it's like in all seriousness, Jaime Munguia has a way better record than David Benavidez. David Benavidez obviously uh, has very notable wins. I mean, he just beat Caleb Plant, etc. And don't get me wrong, he deserves the title fight. But when you're talking about records, when you're talking about caliber of fighters, when you're talking about even just all in all, if you put David Benavidez and Jaime Munguia, I understand why for a I guess record base, you know, legacy uh type thing, Jaime Munguia would be that fighter. So and be picked over David Benavidez. I'm a fan of David Benavidez. I don't think Canelo is ducking him, but I do think they should fight before Canelo retires. So we'll talk about Canelo Alvarez. He's 62 and 2, 39 knockouts. He's won titles in 4 different divisions: super middleweight, junior middleweight, and light heavyweight. Canelo has a lot of notable wins. People like Triple G, he's beat him twice. He did draw with him once. He just beat Jermell Charlo, John Ryder, Caleb Plant, Billy Saunders, Caleb Smith, Sergey Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Liam Smith, and Miguel Cotto. He obviously has lost to 2 people, being Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather. So Canelo is 33 years old compared to Munguia. He's 27 years old. Canelo became a pro fighter at 15. Munguia became a pro fighter at 16 years old. And again, records, I mean, Canelo is 62 and 2, whereas Jaime Munguia is 43 and 0. So, it's very, very hard to I mean, when you're comparing both these fighters together, like I said, they're very similar, very close. They're both you know, they're both Mexican fighters, and which is great for the sport, for the fans, etc. So, Jaime Munguia, uh, he's a very humble guy and stuff like that. Obviously, he's under the Oscar De La Hoya promotions, and which is not great for I guess for promotion in itself. I'm not uh bashing the promotion in itself. It's just for example what happened at the press conference, etc. Oscar throwing shade at Canelo, and then them going back and forth where Jaime Munguia has been respectful and stuff like that. So like I said, I mean nothing but respect to both of these guys. I'm very excited for this fight in specific. So yeah, we'll see who wins. Let me know what y'all's thoughts is. I don't, like I said, I wouldn't be mad if Jaime Munguia beats Canelo Alvarez. Just Canelo is a fan favorite, so obviously I'm rooting for him. And yeah, so we'll go from there. We'll be watching the fights this weekend, and let me know your guys' prediction. So I'll see you guys in episode 17, I believe is next episode for UFC 302. So peace.